and welcome to Wilson's Fishing Adventures. Today we're going to be talking about the hair rig, and the reason I'm doing this video is because a while back I read that when lockdown was lifted, well, some parts of lockdown was lifted, a lot of anglers who for some reason had stopped going fishing, maybe marriage, work commitments, kids, whatever, they packed in from going fishing, then they suddenly returned. Basically because when you think about it, it's ideal. You can self-isolate on a bank, on a pond, river, lake, whichever. You can virtually self-isolate on any of those. Even some beaches, it'll just be you there on it. Ideal self-isolation is, to me, fishing. Can't beat it. So anyway, but it got me thinking that it must be a minefield coming back into fishing, into a tackle shop nowadays, because even someone like me who's been fishing, it's ever changing all the time. There's no stuff coming out, there's no methods, etc. So today I'm going to talk about the hair rig, basically aimed at those who don't know what a hair rig is, who've seen it and thought, I don't know how that works, I don't fancy trying it because I don't know the principles of it. So basically I'm going to try and steer you through it if I can. And the hair rig is this, just this device here. So it's got this one I've got here has got a swivel, barrel swivel at this end, which is covered. It's then got a piece of braid that comes down to a hook, and the line continues from the hook's end and forms a loop there. Can you see that? That's a loop there. And it forms a loop at the end, as you can see. If you can see that now. Just a loop at the end, past the hook, like so. Yep, right. I mean, this is on braid, but you can get it just with nylon, like such. As you can see there you can see just comes as clear nylon, and there's your hook there, and there is your loop. You tie that end to your line. So your hook's there, your loop's there, which is basically just this, but in clear nylon. This packet will say hooks to nylon with hair. Come in obviously different poundages, different sizes. I'm not selling these, it's just the one I've got in my hand. I'm not promoting them or anything, it's just the one I've got in my hand, just as an example to show you. And there it says hooks to nylon with hair, and that's basically what this is, a hair rig. And you'll tie your main line to the swivel there, and we need to get bait onto the other end. Now these work on very cleverly on the way that fish feed. A lot of fish feed most fish in those ponds and rivers. And what happens is that'll be laid like that on the riverbed, the lake bed, the pond bed, wherever. Fish comes along like they do and hoovers that up, sucks the bait up, and it then gets the bait and the hook in its mouth, and hopefully the hook will hook into the side, register on your rod, and you're away with your fish. And that's the principle of how it works. It's on the bottom of the lake bed. Fish comes along, sucks it up, that goes into its mouth, and presto, hopefully you've got a fish at the end. But we have got to attach some bait to this, because obviously it's not just going to take a bare hook. Now on this occasion I'm going to use cheese. You can use luncheon meat or whatever baits you choose, hot dog, sweet corn, whatever. And what I do when I'm fishing with my bait is that if you think about it, there's nothing really in nature that is 100% square. So I refrain from cutting all my nice luncheon meat, etc., etc., into nice little squares and presenting like a dice at the bottom. I think it's more natural if it's a bit odd shaped, and it's just what way I do it. So I've got a bit of odd shaped cheese there, but it can be any bit that you want. Now we've got to basically attach this cheese to this to get the fish to obviously hoover it up, chuck it up and take the bait. I'm going to use this device, and basically it's just, well, I don't know what to call it. Some might call it a bait needle, but I use a bait needle for sea fishing and it's totally different to this, so I don't call it. But basically what it is, it's got a mechanism that just puts the needle up and down. See the needle there? It's not particularly sharp, this needle, but what it has got is a hook at the end. You can buy these from tattle shops. And what it's got there is a hook right at the end of that needle there, and that is for hooking our loop on there. Can you see? That is hooked onto that now. That's hooked onto that. And we need to do that because what we'll do, if you get your bait like so and then just put your needle through it like that. So you've got your needle through your bait. We then hook our loop onto the hook there. Right, so you've got that, and if you retract this needle back into its frame there, you'll see that it's pulling the line through the bait. So unhook it and you're left then with that. You've got your hook and you've got your bait attached to this here. Now if we were to cast that out just as that is, 100 times out of 100, your hook would end up over that way and your bait would end up over that way. And you'd be left with an empty hook on the riverbed, pond bed, lake bed, whatever. No good to man the beast. So we need to make sure that that's fastened onto this bit of line there. And what I use is, you can go to pet shops and buy special bait stops, but I find that it works just as good, and that is just a common old garden piece of spaghetti. Every home should have some. Every home probably has, so just nick a couple of pieces. I mean, I've got a little, I keep mine in a little tub like this. Don't go off. It's dried spaghetti, bit of dry spaghetti like that. So what I do, I look at my bait and think, right, I need a piece about that big. You see, it needs about that big. And all you do simply is put that, your spaghetti, through the loop, say halfway, like so. Pull the line so that the spaghetti is now tight up against your bait, and there you have. That's as simple as that, as simple as it is. That will then go onto the riverbed, the lake bed, pond bed, whatever. Fish will come on, see the bait, hoover it up, suck it up, and the hook will get caught in its mouth. Basically that's the air rig. It's fishing with a naked hook. You don't put no bait on your hook. The bait is away from the hook, but once the fish hoovers that up, obviously the hook will follow it into its mouth and it'll register on your rod, and it'll, you'll strike, or sometimes you don't need to strike because it's hooked itself and you've got your centre fish. So can you see I've put the spaghetti there, it's holding the bait on, and basically that's the hair rig. Now I use, as you can see on my line, I like to use 2 stops like so, 2 stops with a running link clip, a barrel link clip there. in between. I can set that at whatever I want, and basically that's just these. You can buy them from the shop, from the tackle shop. It's just this. I mean, these are different shape. They're round, but these are like a oval barrel shape, but the same principle. And you put your line through there, fold it double, pull them on, and you're left with that, and your swivel and your clip in between, which is basically all that is. And when I fish in the river, one of the rivers I do fish is the River Derm, which is not particularly wide. So I'll just put this on. It's like a bomb. That obviously for this, I've put this on for this purpose to show you. Clip it on, and there you go. That'll then cast into the river, and because it's a shallow river, a narrow river, I don't need to use one of these, which is a swim feed. I don't need to use one of them. I can use this because because it's narrow. I can throw my ground bait round where my hook bait will be, where this bait will be. So I've no need to bother about putting that on. I can just cast out and send my ground bait round it. If however I was fishing a lake where I needed a bit of distance casting, all I do is just unclip that, take that off, and I've just got this one because it's nice big and chunky to show you. Put the swim feed on there, fill it up with whatever ground bait, loose bait, as you can see in there, and I mean this one's 50 grams, like so, and then you've got that there running ledger with swim feed, and your baits here ready to be hoovered up. And that's simply all that a hair rig is, and I use it quite a lot, and I'm quite successful with it. It's probably my preferred method of fishing. You just cast out, leave it there with your quiver rod or whatever rod, ledger rod, and just wait for the bites to happen. So yeah, that's basically the principles and how to set up a hair rig. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, a thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel for further videos. It's free, you don't pay a penny, we're not asking for any money, just subscribe, it's all free, and we'll hopefully see you again, and hope you've enjoyed that, hope you catch fish, and goodbye from Euxton.